Hey, this is Ramon, Channel Alpha 4, and you might know notice the camera angle is different. This is because I've been recording on my iPhone, and since the update, my iPhone has decided to no longer work. It now dies within an hour of me unplugging, and it overheats and gets super hot. So, new camera angle. Enjoy my iPad from that's super old. I did 2,000 words today in my story. 2040 to be exact. And I have accomplished two fight scenes. I'm in the middle of one right now where the good guys are trying not to kill any of the enemies, which is always a fun conflict. And then I have to do another fight scene where a female character, an ex-soldier, and then a third character have to steal back some horses. So that's what's going on after that. It's all going pretty good. I'm saying a lot. I'm going to put this video with my next video, squish them together, because I've already uploaded two videos today. And on that note, some people have been asking me for some of my older content, but if you're watching me on a third-party platform, it doesn't show up on my analytics and it doesn't show up in my views. I don't know why, it just doesn't. I've been with friends of mine when they view my videos and it won't show up. It won't. If you're viewing off of Facebook or of some other platform to get these videos, some other aggregator, it's not showing up on my analytics. And if you're not commenting, if you're not liking, if you're not subscribing, I don't know you're watching. So if you don't show up, I'm just going to assume no one's watching it, and I'm not going to keep making that kind of thing. So if you want to watch my martial arts stuff, watch my martial arts stuff. If I see those things clicking up, I'll make more martial arts videos, man. On that note as well, I took this whole month off to do NaNoWrimo. So I am only doing NaNoWrimo, which means that I don't really have the cash to replace my phone. So that doesn't work out very great. Also, on a side note to that, let me talk about my approach, since I'm talking about work, let me talk to my approach with writing. In my first draft, I don't worry about spelling, I don't worry about grammar, I don't even worry if the words that I'm typing down make sense. I just let it flow. I just let it happen. When I'm not writing for a competition, I do like to go back the very next day and read through whatever I wrote the day before. A, to make sure that it's cogent, and B, to correct any basic spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes. Usually when I'm going to a final draft, it'll take me about 3 drafts by myself, and then it'll take me about 2 proofreaders. And between each round of editing, I will run it through a spell check. And believe it or not, spell check doesn't even catch everything the third or fourth time around. And sometimes I'll still see like one little letter or one word that doesn't make sense, even after all of that. But that's how I go about with my stuff. So I usually like to go with the first draft, the rough draft. I don't worry about any of that. I let the misspellings and the typos just stand as they are. I know that drives some people crazy, but it doesn't bother me. I recommend the same thing for you all. If you're trying to pursue something, whether that be martial arts or writing or anything, feel free to screw up. It's fine. It's not going to hurt you. It's only going to teach you how to do things. And don't practice your mistakes. Go back and fix them. But don't get hung up on your mistakes either. Just keep moving forward and keep trying to do the best possible that you can do. And sometimes your best is your worst. And that's just where you got to start off from. Madamoto Musashi has a great saying, which is, at first it will seem difficult, but don't let that stop you, because all things at first seem difficult. So, you just got to get into it and learn. Anyway, that's my advice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I wasn't too rambly. And whatever I'm saying right next, enjoy it. I hope it's interesting. I hope tomorrow I wrote very many words. Very, very many, many, many words. Like I said, I wrote 2040 today. That's awesome. So, peace, like, subscribe. Although the next video will say the same thing. Hey, this is Ramon Channels Alpha 4, and I just did 1,844 words. I spent most of today not writing. Today's Saturday, by the way. I spent most of today just sitting down. It took me about 7 hours to even start. So I was sitting, I was thinking, I was ruminating, but nothing was flowing. And then I went out to eat, came back, was refreshed, and suddenly I wrote about 500 words, stopped, took a break, finished the scene, came back, started working on a new scene, got to 1,844. So that's awesome. Now, let me talk about, though, some health and some prep. So, to have a good story, you might do an outline beforehand, and you might set a time to when you can write, especially if you work during the day, so you can work at night. But what a lot of people don't think about is your general health. So I recommend, if you're going to go for long stretches like what I'm doing, if you're going to be doing sprints, every hour, if you're going to do multiple hours, or if you're just going to do an hour, maybe every 15 minutes, get up and exercise. So me personally, I've been getting on the treadmill or jumping rope. Remember to shower, remember to eat, remember to drink water. Have a big thing of water around you at all times. Because when you're writing, you just don't think about these things, and you get into that world, into that imaginary world, and suddenly 4 or 5 hours fly by, or 2 or 3 hours will go by, and you don't even realize the time passed. So I recommend setting a timer, and just every time the time comes up, do some push-ups and some sit-ups and get some water, and don't pig out. Don't do what I did a long time ago, and when I didn't do so well on NaNoWrimo, actually, was don't eat donuts. Don't have donuts laying around. That's a horrible mistake. But have some vegetables in the fridge. If you're a meat eater, have some beef jerky. But generally, eat some healthy stuff. Have some food prepped earlier. Don't do fast food. Don't do junk. Eat something good for you. Go out for a walk. In fact, before you write, you might want to go out for a walk, 5, 10, 15 minutes. Just walk around. I recommend anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, by the way, for your little breaks. Anything more than that is going to distract from your work. So, and if you're not working, don't try to force it. Just get up, do something else, and then come back. Anyway, that's my advice. And this is day 12, I want to say. I don't know anymore. All right. Later, people. Bye.